Hello, my name's Hemingway Jones and I make videos about fountain pens for curious people. One of the main drives in this channel is to bring to you some new selections of affordable fountain pens. And Scriveiner is a brand that I've seen on social media, and they reached out and they asked me if I'd like to sample some of their pens, so of course I said yes. And they sent a nice assortment that I'd like to show you now. So Scriveiner fountain pens. Is it all an illusion of luxury, or have they produced an excellent pen for under $50, $60? Let's take a look. So I always like to make it abundantly clear when someone sends me some pens, they sent me these, I can do with them what I want, but there's no editorial control, so I can also say anything I want about them. So let's get into the review. Okay, so here we are in the studio. Let's take a look at how these pens are packaged, because they are designed to be presents. So they do come in a nice little presentation box. So here you have it. It's a nice little presentation box. It comes in another sleeve. For $50, it's a fine box. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't really hold these for very long. Nice gold paper around here. This one is the EDC matte red with chrome trim. We're going to set this aside a second and just sort of show you the box. Normally I wouldn't spend any time on this, but they are sort of designed for gifts. So gold paper, little pen loop, and then you get 2 cartridges and some instructions down here in the bottom. So nice to have 2 cartridges if you're a cartridge person. Now I'm also kind of happy that it comes with a converter. So we'll talk about that in a moment. You also get a warranty. It's a 2-year warranty if you register your pen, which is nice. Gives you a nice peace of mind. You just need to register your pen. So let's take a look at this EDC matte red and chrome. Very nice looking pen, beautiful finish. Has a Scriveiner emblem here on the top. It has a beautiful clip. I love this clip. Mostly because it looks so Art Deco. I mean, intentionally. It has to be intentionally Art Deco. And nice Scrivener logo around here. You know I love protective caps, so I love to see a bit of metal on there. It unscrews and then screws into the back for posting. So a nice pen that feels very balanced in the hand. If I were to do it without it, you can write, but I think it's a little small for my rather large hands. It might be different for you, so miles may vary. The nib is the generic Schmidt nib, but a pretty nib, a definitely reliable one as well. So here's an area where I could nick them, but for $50, what are you going to do? It's not the most high quality converter, it's the standard converter, but it does the job. Holding ink reliably for me. I've been using these pens for the last couple weeks, bringing them to the office and whatnot, and it's been working out well. So this is a very nice pen for around $50. Has some nice weight to it. It's not too heavy, but it has a feel like it's a quality product. And I certainly see nothing wrong with anything in how it was put together. Very nice clip. The clips are a little tight, I did notice. I'd like to mention that as well. So let's take a look at some of the other ones. We have here is the luxury gold fountain pen of glittering gold. This is a fingerprint magnet, and I'm sure it's a scratch magnet as well. I probably have a few scratches on this. I've been using it. I love this pen. I find it a little bit garish and a little bit obnoxious and a little bit over the top, which sounds like I'm being very critical, but I'm a big personality and I sometimes like that. I sort of like the Johnny Versace aspect to this pen. It's got a little bit of Scarface about it, a little bit of 80s over the top gold plated goodness. I think this would look fantastic with a Rolex Day Date, or even something like a Cartier Santos, something with some great 80s vibes. I love the Art Deco embellishment once again on the clip, and if you recall, in the 80s it was a period of neo-deco, so it just, in my imagination, ties it very much into a Miami Vice sort of setting for this pen, and I just am here for that. I love it. So once again, it's threaded, so you screw the cap on. You have this nice texture on the grip, so it's not going to get too slippery with the grip, as you know many pens that are metal do. This one has nice feel to it. It's very tactile. I quite like it. And then you also have this gilded nib from Schmidt, which is plated gold as well. I believe those are 18 karat plating on the stainless steel nib. But aesthetically, very over the top, very dramatic, and I quite like it. It's a little heavier than the matte red, but that's okay too. I quite like this pen. I've been using this quite a bit, but it's not a subtle pen. You take this out in a meeting and people will notice, probably because the light will reflect off it. Now the last one I want to share with you, it's the last one they sent, is this beautiful luxury fountain pen in black lacquer and 24 karat gold trim. And this is probably the perfect balance of elegance and design. I really like the way the barrel feels. It's very tactile, being black lacquer, and it's very elegant. I went to screw it. I keep doing that. It actually pulls out. This one pulls out and closes with a very satisfying click. So quite nice. Quite nice there. Now, this has been giving me Waterman vibes since I've been using it. Probably because a lot of Waterman pens, like the Charleston, have these sort of Art Deco touches. And just the general feel and elegance of it just feels very much like a Waterman pen. So out of all these, I like this one the best, except when I'm feeling obnoxious, then I reach for the gold. But this is a pretty great choice as well. Okay, let me show you how this elegant pen writes. Very nice to post, no problem there. So this is a medium nib. It's very smooth, very fast, very well balanced. And it's full of Shokuru, which is just becoming a favorite black ink of mine. So I think out of all of these pens, I quite like this black lacquer and gold pen the best. It's absolutely seamless in the boardroom, for signing documents, for any kind of business application. It just is a perfect executive pen, a perfect business pen, and it's just a joy to use. I've really been enjoying it. So next, let's try the matte red and silver chrome trim in a fine nib and see how this one writes. It is a lot of screwing and unscrewing when you use this pen all day, so that's something to keep in mind. It's great for journaling because your pen's set up and you're using it for a long time. So this has a fine nib, a very nice refined fine. Schmidt does a great job with these. This ink, if you're curious, is a Clé de Saphir from the Venerable J. Urban. So I like this fine nib. I find my writing is very precise. I find that there's no false starts, that it just continues flowing nicely without any skips. So just a great solid performer in a very sporty and interesting color. So I quite like this matte red with the chrome finish. The matte material feels very nice in my hand and I'm very tactile. I often shop for clothes with my fingers, so I really like the feeling of a nice pen. And this one doesn't disappoint. Feels very nice in hand. It also reflects the light nicely. It gives it a bit of depth. So I quite like the satiny finish. Very luxurious, if you will. So really nice. Has a decent weight to it. Nice balance. Feels good in the hand. I could probably do without all this screwing and unscrewing, but the pen is put together very well. Has the nice metal protector for the cap, which you know I love. So there's a lot of good to be said about it, and I quite like it. It's also easy to carry around. It clips very easily wherever you want to stow it. So it makes a nice travel pen too. Okay, let's take a look at this fantastic gold pen that has quite a bit of presence. Let's write with it and see how it feels. So this pen has a medium nib. I filled it with diamine oxblood and it flows amazingly well. Beautiful Schmidt nib. Fantastic. Now it's the heaviest of the three pens we're looking at today, and it's also the slickest. And I mean that in the most literal sense. The pen itself is metal and you do slide a bit. There's some grip here at the bottom, but if you're up here in the barrel anywhere, it's a little slippery. So if you don't like metal pens and you don't like them being slippery, then consider which one you would choose. Personally, I do like the shininess of it. It's different and it's interesting and kind of exciting. So I quite like it. Once again, the Schmidt nib does a fantastic job. It's a very good writer. So I think out of all three, this one definitely has the most personality, and I think you have to have the most personality to write with it because it is a very exuberant pen. But it makes it interesting. In a collection of a lot of black and gold, this will leap out. So I have a little fun sometimes. I'm also thinking of how interesting and magnificent this would be out in the sunlight, reflecting whatever light there is around you. That would be a lot of fun. I'll have to try that soon. So let's sum up everything for a moment. What we have here is a fountain pen that was designed in the UK that is meant to have a luxury feel and has a price point around $50 US. Now we know they're produced in China, which is how they reach that price point, but the fit and finish is rather extraordinary. As I use them, I just feel like I'm using a Waterman pen. They're very tight, very nice, very well balanced. Now it does have a generic nib with a Schmidt nib, but Schmidt nibs are also very nice. They're on many pens and they're fantastic nibs, but they are prone to the occasional bad nib and whatnot. But the guarantee from Scrivener really mitigates a lot of the anxiety that comes with trying a new brand, which is very nice because we all know that quality control in the fountain pen world is kind of an issue with a lot of brands. So all in all, I'd say you're getting a good value here. It's a decent pen. It's a fantastic price point. And I just love the balance and the elegance and the Art Deco details. So is it worth $50? Absolutely. All day long. So what do you think of Scrivener pens? Is it a brand you would consider? What do you think of these three pens? Which one do you like the most? I bet it's the gold one. Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you've gotten this far in this video, please subscribe. I'd love to have you on this journey with us as we go to some amazing places. And if you want to support the channel even more, consider becoming a member. It helps to keep the lights on, and we do a lot of really fun stuff. behind the scenes. I'd love to see you there. So I make new videos each week, and I have a live show every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. So I can promise you we will see each other again very soon, further up the road. So take care of yourself.